Good morning, children. Today I'm going to start a new lesson, that is Maya's first flight. Maya's first flight, written by Waldemar Bonsels. Now here, Maya has been ready to leave her city and fly out for the first time. So children, Maya, the first bee, is ready to leave her city and fly out for the first time. So let's find out what Maya discovers outside the beehive. The sun has risen. The joyous call surrounding in Maya's ears awoke her out of sleep. The next morning, she jumped up and joined a lady working bee. Delighted, said the lady Cordially, you may fly with me. Children, cordially means pleasantly. So you may fly with me. At the gate, there was a great dashing, pushing, and crowding. I repeat, at the gate, there was a great pushing and crowding. They were held up by the sentinels. Sentinels means they were held up by the guards, one of whom gave Maya the password without which no bee was admitted back into the city. Be sure to remember it, he said, and good luck to you. Outside the city gate, a flood of sunlight fell on the light bee. A brilliance of a grate of gold, so rich and warm and splendid that she had to close. Something very beautiful to look at. Outside the city gate, a flood of sunlight fell on the little bee. A brilliance of green and gold, of rich and warm. Something very beautiful to look at, that she had to close her eyes, nor knowingly what to say or do for the delight. Magnificent, it really is, she said to her companion. Do we fly that into that? She said, do we fly that day? Right ahead, answered the lady bee. Maya raised her little head and moved her pretty new wings. Suddenly she felt the flying board on which she had been sitting sink down, while the ground seemed to be gliding away behind the large green domes. She rounded the shape formed by the leaves, treetops, and seemed to be coming towards her. Her eyes were sparkled. Her heart rejoiced. I am flying, she cried. I cannot be anything else. What I am doing must be flying when it's splendid, perfectly splendid. Yes, you are flying, said the lady bee, who had difficulty in keeping up with the child. Those are laden trees, those toward which we are flying. The lindens of the castle park. You can always tell where our city is by those lindens. But you're flying so fast. Maya, fast, said Maya. You're flying. How can one fly fast enough? Oh, how sweet the sunshine smells. No, replied her companion, who was rather out of breath. It is not the sunshine, it's the flower that smell. But please, don't go fast, else I'll drop behind. Beside the place, you won't observe the things and be able to find your way. But little Maya, transported by the sunshine and the joy of living, did not hear. She felt as though she were darting like an arrow through a green shimmering sea of light to the great and greater of splendor. The bright flowers seemed to call her the still until distances lured, and on the blue sky blessed her joy's younger flight. Never again will it be as beautiful as it today. She thought, I will turn back. I can't think of anything except the sun. Beneath the pictures kept changing. The peaceful handscape slid by slowly. Embroidered the stretches. The sun must be all gold, thought the baby bee, coming to a large garden, which seemed to rest the blossomy clouds and cherry tree. The hawks of the light. She felt herself down the earth, dead tired, and drop in the bed of a red turnip, where she held no one to earth. She tied the bigger flower with a great sign past herself and looked behind to the deep sky. How? Oh, how about it is here the great world are thousands of times more beautiful than in the dark cave. I never go back there again to carry the honey to make wax. I never do that. I want to see, to know the world in bloom. Now, here, children, she says that I am not other bee. My heart is meant for pleasure and surprise. I will not be afraid of any danger. She laughed, bubbling over with delight, and took a deep draught of nectar. Children, nectar means a sweet liquid made by flowers. Out of the flowers, grand, she thought, it is glorious to be alive. If little Maya had an inkling of many danger, the hardship that lay ahead of her, she would certainly have thought twice, but never dreaming of such a thing. Finally, children, here she says that the lesson, when a flight falls and may be afraid, she tells herself that everything is going to be all right. And she is called a positive, a self-talk. Such thoughts help to solve the problem and face a hardship in life. And here, Children, do you talk to yourself in your mind or out of a loud? Here the summary says about the Maya's first flight. The time has come. She says, children, the time has come for Maya to go and get ready for her hive with the help of Cassandra. She sees the world and starts getting her first life. The very next, there he goes, flying to the first time. She was amazed with the colors and the freedom given to her by flying. She likes the outer world away. Then the bee town, so she decided never go back to make honey. She realized she isn't like the other bee and she wanted to explore the world. When might she came, she hid under a big leaf under a tree. And when she woke up, she went on exploring a simple thing such as flowers, petals, drops of dew on the leaves. She is welcomed by her cat who lives inside a rose with his family. He gives her some rose honey. Maya started to come and the dark and the stuffy life with the bees to the beautiful and suspicious life inside a rose. Maya was restless, so she didn't stay there long. She landed on lotus, where a flying tried to kick her off the lotus. But Maya confronted her. She used some of the tips about life. She told that Cassandra gave her, and soon she got the flying respect. Children, just now your work is to read the lesson and underline the hard words and write down in your book. Read 2-3 times the lesson so that you may understand the Maya's first flight. It's a bee, children. It's a bee. It is adventures of a Maya, the bee. Thank you, children.